What's going on, guys? Nealguides here. In today's video I'll be showing you how to trigger players to make runs in behind or force players to make runs forward. All you're doing is you're using the L1 button and the directional analog stick. So for example, you flick the analog stick down and press L1 in this case to make Kyle Walker make a run going forward. This is actually really good for opening up defenses, especially if you have no support or you want a player to make a run. The benefit is you don't need any specific tactics, so you don't need, for example, fast build-up play or anything like that, nor do you need any instructions, so even if a player doesn't have get in behind, you can still ask them to go forward. It can be any player on the pitch. So for example, my fullbacks, both my left back and right back, are on stay back while attacking, but I can still, as you can see, trigger the players to make the run. So it's actually really good, especially if you're a defensive player. You know, it helps you get out of positions with, for example, you know, if you have no one to pass to, or even if you're attacking and you know you're under pressure, there's no one really around you. This can help you create space and, you know, allow you a better chance to attack the opposition's goal. What I would say though is just bear in mind who you trigger to make the run going forward. Try to make sure you don't trigger your centre back or your CDM. So in this case, I trigger Kyle Walker to make a run going forward. But the problem is I don't actually pass to him. I just pass to people around him. And what's going to happen is Kyle Walker is going to keep running forward unless he goes to an offside position or unless the pass has been made to him. But if the opposition intercepts the pass, you're going to be vulnerable to a counter-attack. So just bear that in mind. So don't go gung-ho and start asking everyone to go forward. And the main thing you're probably wondering is, how do I actually do it? Now it is pretty easy. All you're using is the left analog stick and the L1 or the LB button for Xbox. It's just like skill moves, where you push the left analog stick towards where the player is. So if I want Kyle Walker to make the run going forward, I'll push the left analog stick up and I'll press L1. And he will start making a run forward. He'll normally put his arm out to indicate that he's making a run forward. That's the best way of doing it. Sometimes you may have to press L1 more than once. The reason why is because the game registers L1 sometimes as skill dribbling. So sometimes you may have to press L1 more than once. I'm just going to be showing you the example now with a PS4 controller, just so you know real time what I'm doing. So flick the left analog stick up, press L1. As soon as I see Kyle Walker making the run, I release and I'm pass the ball to him. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy to do. The best way I would say is try it yourself. It's going to take practice. It's not like a skill move. It's a bit different because you have to aim at the correct person. So even in attacking, for example, you know, for Son, for example, I have to aim it to the bottom right hand side of the analog stick in order for Son to make the run going forward. It's all about practice. The first few times it may not work. You may ask the wrong player to make a run going forward. Once you've done it more than once, it's going to be pretty easy to do. You can easily break through the wings, as you can see in this clip here. But what I would say is, do bear in mind where the defender is. This doesn't take into account traits or anything, so if you press L1 to trigger a player to run forward, he could be potentially offside. So even if he's in the offside position, you press L1, he's still going to remain offside. He's not going to come onside and then make a run going forward. So just assume it's like a manually telling the player just to run forward, if that makes sense. So do bear that in mind. Once you've mastered the basics, you can then ask multiple players to make runs in behind. So for example here, I trigger Modric to make a run going forward to exploit the space in front of me, but I also trigger people like Son and I also trigger Mbappe. So I do a 1-2 with Cruz and you can see it becomes a 4v4. Now to defend against this, it's almost impossible to defend against this. To see Modric's run and defend against it is really hard. I'll just show you the video again. Let's look at Modric coming in from deep midfield. That's why using and triggering players to make runs is really hard to defend against. Once you've mastered that, you can then rely on using L1 trigger passes just by purely using the radar. So in this case, I can't even see the player, but just looking at the radar, I can see that Lucas is making a run. So all I do now is I move the left analog stick to the left, press L1, and I trigger the run. I can't see the player, but I know where he is on the radar. And this is almost impossible to defend. So here Dembele comes charging at me. The opposition is controlling that player, AI is not. I've already made the pass and I've already changed to Lucas and I've already started running, as you can see from my body language. Um, but the opposition reacts slowly because he can't even see where the player is or even the run. And as you can see, he finally selects to the defender, and by the time he stops jockeying, the ball's already gone past him. And that's why it's key to learn player trigger and player runs, and just by using the radar. So if you are in trouble in your own box, you can just clear the ball by pressing L1 and triangle and triggering a player run. I hope this helps your weekend league. It's a really good tactic. Just try it a few times. It'll take some time to get used to, but I hope this helps. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.